Good morning one and all. Myself Bhavani from Civil Department. Today I am going to discuss on can earthquakes be predicted and also the topic on preventive and mitigation measures of earthquakes. Okay. Coming to the first one, that is can earthquakes be predicted means of course it can be predicted with respect to the precise timing and also location. Why? Because nowadays technology is very much developed, so that by using some tools and also some approaches, we can easily predict at what area and what timing it is going to be occurred. And however, there were somewhat we don't know at what time this earthquake can occur, and also we have some seismographs or seismometers tools like that one. By that one, we can just know about that earthquake is going to be occurred at that place, at that area. And what are the main factors? Main factors we can use to predict the earthquakes is first one, that is seismic hazard assessment. In this seismic hazard assessment, here we are going to study on the overall geological faults and also by using the historical data of the earthquakes and also by the regional stress field, means to estimate the likelihood of the future earthquakes in that area. Means in Japan, obviously so many times means so many earthquakes are occurred in a year. Why? Because it is nothing but the zone 5 area. Zone 5 area means where the earthquakes will be, it is very common in that area. And here when we are going to access this assessment, seismic hazard assessment, here we can know the overall means by taking the earthquake, previous earthquake data and also by taking the geological faults. Why? Because in below the earth surface, these faults and folds will be there. When by studying these faults also, we can easily just imagine or we can predict the earthquakes. Okay. And here, this type of assessment, it helps in the long-term risk. Means why? Because if in some we can take some area in that time and in that location that earthquake is occurred in that area, means we can just write down that one and we are going to estimate next how it will going to be happen and how much at how much magnitude it can happen. And by using this previous data only, we can estimate at what location and what is the easily this we can estimate the overall earthquake data at that time. But this type of long-term risk, it does not provide any specific data also. Why? Because in specific time it is going to occur, we can't predict that one. Okay, it is a natural hazard. If it is a natural hazard means easily we can't know that one. But somewhat technology is developed means so that just we can know means in that area this earthquake is going to be occurred. Maybe it can be occurred. Like that we are assessing these earthquakes here. And next one is early warning systems. And here these by using these seismographs, seismometers and so on like this, we can use this type of systems to detect the seismic waves like primary waves. And when the primary waves, this can travel faster than the destructive secondary waves. And here what will happen means when this type of P waves and S waves, this can easily predict by the tools and also some systems, and also service waves also we can predict. So by using this system data also, these P waves and S waves and also surface waves data, we can just warn the people in that area so that they can save themselves when this earthquake is going to be occurred. And firstly, by detecting the primary waves, means primary waves is nothing but the initial occurring of the earthquakes here. Means by detecting this P waves only, we can easily warn the people. Means here early warning systems can be used. This can provide the data, means a few seconds to a few minutes of warning before this earthquake is going to be occurred, so that people can just send their loved ones and also they can protect themselves from these earthquakes. And next one is statistical models. And here we are going to analyze the patterns of small earthquakes, and also by this foreshocks also we can estimate the probability of this larger earthquakes. Means in one area earthquake magnitude is very low, means like some magnitude will be 4 to 5 like that. Means of course when that earthquake data is recorded, again we can estimate the magnitude with larger earthquakes. Means by the small earthquake analysis only we can predict the larger earthquakes data also. Means it can be estimated, not exactly we can predict, but we can estimate this one. Means by taking this small earthquakes data, we can easily predict the larger earthquakes. Means at what time it is going to be occurred, in what place it is going to be occurred. If in that place it is occurring, means at what magnitude it is going to be occur, we can easily estimate that one. And by using this model also, we can easily insight into the potential seismic activity. Means by analyze this type of data, we can easily insight into the potential seismic activity here. And mainly when we are following these type of model data also, it cannot be reliable. Why? Because some may be true or some may be false here. So totally we can't depend our earthquake data based on the statistical model here. We cannot be reliable on this data also. Next one is geophysical monitoring. Means when we are going to just monitor the earth surface, like ground deformation we are going to monitor, and also gas emission we are going to monitor, and also electromagnetic variations we are going to monitor here. By monitoring this type of problems also, we can easily provide the earthquake activity. Means when we are going to just monitoring the ground surface, means earth surface, means overall lithosphere. In the lithosphere what will happen, these falls and folds will be there. At that time what will happen means, but according to that false data also, we can easily predict that one. Okay, in the earth crust here. And these methods also we are using nowadays. These are under research and in the developing area. Not it is totally we are depending on this geophysical monitoring. We are only developing this type of data. Why? Because if we are going to continuously monitor that earthquake in that area, means we can easily predict it due to this ground deformation and also electromagnetic variations also. Okay. And next one is distribution of the earthquakes. Means where these earthquakes can be seen and what is the distribution of this earthquakes is mainly in the total world. When there is distribution of the earthquakes, it will be mainly linked to the movement and interaction of this tectonic plates here. Okay, and here mainly one of the best distribution of this earthquake is first one, that is plate boundaries. Here most of the earthquakes are going to be occurred along the edges of the earth tectonic plates here. Means according to the tectonic plates also, when any earthquake is occurred, means there will be displacement in the tectonic plates. Due to this displacement of the deformation of this tectonic plates also, we can predict this earthquake here. And mainly in this plate boundaries, means these earthquakes will be comes along the earth tectonic plates. In this earth tectonic plates also, we are having three types. First one is divergent boundaries. What will happen in this divergent boundary means, firstly these plates will move apart. Means not it will collide each other. These tectonic plates, it will just pull apart, and at that time only these earthquakes will going to be occurred. But one of the advantages, it is not a very big earthquake here. It will be very less powerful, but it is the frequent one. One of the example of this plate boundary means in this plate boundary, divergent boundaries we can see in the areas like mid-Atlantic ridges also. Why? Because here earthquakes are quite normal, but these are very much less powerful than the large earthquakes. Okay. And next one is convergent boundaries. In these convergent boundaries, these are move towards each other. Means if possible, they can collide each other also. These divergent, or they can be say that these tectonic plates, they will move towards each other. If these are your tectonic plates, means this will move towards each other. That is called as the divergent boundaries. And this is one of the by this type of divergent boundaries, earthquakes are very much powerful. Means where these convergent boundaries are there, in that areas, earthquakes will be very much powerful when compared with the divergent boundaries. Why? Because in divergent boundaries, very less powerful earthquakes can occur. But in convergent boundaries, very powerful and also large earthquakes are going to be occurred here. And best example for that one is Pacific Ring of Fire. In this Pacific Ring of Fire area, it will be very common earthquakes are going to be already occurring, and also its magnitude is also sometimes it will be above 6 and above 7 also earthquakes can be occurred here. Okay. And next one is transform boundaries. Here what is meant by this transform boundaries means it will just this type of tectonic plates, they will just slide each other horizontally. Means one by one they will just slide past to each other horizontally, not in vertical direction. It will just slide to each other horizontally, and this will also lead to the very much powerful earthquakes occurring. Okay. By this transform boundaries also, earthquakes are very much powerful and frequently it can occur also. Example is San Andreas Fault in California. Why? Because in USA, some of the areas they are almost zone 1 and zone 2 also. But this California area, it is mostly having the transform boundaries here, and this will be having the very much powerful earthquakes can occur in this overall that region. And after this plate boundaries, next one is Pacific Ring of Fire. This is one of the area, it is one of the main region in the world, main seismic region in the world, which will be encircling in between the Pacific Ocean. It will be having very numerous volcanoes and numerous earthquakes. Means earthquake will be very frequent occurring region, this one. Okay. Here, this orange region you can see here. This orange region is called as the Pacific Ring of Fire here. Mainly in this area, means in this overall Pacific region area, this will be having the frequent earthquakes and also very numerous volcanoes is there. Means under the sea, under the ocean, so many earthquakes are present in that region. So that there will be so many tsunamis occurring, there will be so many volcanoes is going to be occurred, and frequent earthquakes are also going to be formed in that area. Next one is intraplate earthquakes. Here, in this intraplate earthquakes, these will be occurring within the tectonic plates only. When these tectonic plates are displacing can be seen at that time. Means when these earthquakes occurring means there will be displacement of the tectonic plates, and at that time this intraplate earthquake is nothing but it will go away from the plate boundaries here. Why? Because in when they are going away from the plate boundaries means this can be somewhat less common, and but it can be significant also. And some of the areas that is having the intraplate earthquakes are New Madrid, means Spain area. It is nothing, New Madrid nothing but in Spain area it is one of the best intraplate earthquake area. Here seismic zone in the New Madrid seismic zone in the central United States. And here what will happen in this intraplate is you can see it is one of the example I took here. And here plate A, this is the tectonic plate A. This one is the tectonic plate B. Here this one is the mantle area, and when this plate A subducts under the plate B, that will drag the plate B within itself only. Means when they both comes together and there will be away from the plate boundaries, means like that it will happen. And at that time only what will happen means this tectonic plate B, it tries to return it to its original position. Mainly when this plate B is going to be returned to its place only, at that time these earthquakes are occurring. Okay, that is a best example of intraplate earthquake. Why? Because when two plate A and plate B areas that will subduct, means automatically that plate A is going to be dragging the plate B, and what will happen? This plate B, it resists, and this plate B wants to just return to its original shape. That displacement is going to be called occurs the earthquake here. That is meant by the intraplate earthquake. Next one is subduction zones here. These subduction zones, it will be seen in the form of curved directions. Here there will be some specific types of convergent boundaries here. Why? Because in this convergent boundaries, so many powerful earthquakes are going to be occurred in this convergent boundaries. Just now I already told you. Convergent boundaries, it is having the very powerful earthquakes occurring zones, where what will happen in that zone is when one plate is forced beneath the another. Means one plate will be like this and another plate will going to be beneath that plate area. That is called as the subduction zone here. And this subduction zone is known for that producing very much powerful earthquakes and also tsunamis. And in some areas there will be volcanoes also, it can occur. So in this subduction zone, this overall formation, it will be in curved shape, and also in this area only overall powerful earthquakes and tsunamis can be occurred in this area. What are the main areas of this subduction zone is Japan Trench and also Chilean subduction zone. In these regions, in these areas, these subduction zones are very much common in that regions. Next one is seismic gaps. And what is meant by this seismic gaps means when in some areas there are some regions along the fault lines, means below the earthquake these faults and folds can be seen. Below that earth crust, when these fault lines that haven't experienced any type of earthquakes for the long time, means that is called as the seismic gap. Why? Because in some areas there will be frequent earthquakes and frequent volcano eruption and frequent tsunamis also can be occurred. But in some areas there will be not frequently, but sometime it will occur, and after some years that earthquake can be occurred. That is called as the seismic gap. Means gap between the two earthquakes. Okay, that is called as the seismic gaps. When there is no experienced significant earthquake for the long period, that is called as the seismic gap, and this can be considered as the potential site for the future earthquakes. Why? Because there will be so much gap between the two earthquakes. Means maybe in the next year at that place only that earthquake can occur. Means there is a full scope for future earthquakes at that region there. Next one is human induced earthquakes. And in this human induced earthquakes, where the earthquakes can be induced due to the humans here. Okay, due to the human activities. What are the primary sources which can be used by the humans to induce these earthquakes are? First one, that is reservoir induced seismicity. In this one, what are the main causes for this reservoir induced seismicity? Means when we are going to fill the larger reservoirs, means behind the dams, of course reservoirs will be there. When there will be so much stress on that earth surface, means earth surface below faults will be there, and on that faults when so much stress is going to be applied due to this added weight, means of course there will be occurring of this reservoir induced seismicity. Means behind the dams, when the reservoirs they are going to store the water, means of course why we are constructing these dams, means to store the water And when there is a need for water to the crops and in some areas, we are going to use this reservoir water, and we are going to produce that water to nearby areas, fields also. Okay, that is the main purpose of these reservoirs and also dams. And when we are going to fill the large reservoirs with the so much of water, means what will happen, that water weight, that water pressure is also going to be act on the earth crust. At that time there will be small cracks at the primary stage, and after that one, so many earthquakes can occur after that. Initially we can't say at that time it is occurring, but after that one, we can, in some time, in some areas, earthquake can be occurred due to this water pressure. One of the example of this RAS human activity is in 1967 in Koina Nagar, earthquake is occurred in India in the Koina Dam reservoir. Why? Because in very much water they added in the reservoir. At that time it can't, that overall earth crust, it can't bear that water, and it caused the earthquake in 1967. And next one is mining activities. When due to this mining, means what is meant by mining, means excavation and also removal of this large volumes of rocks. Okay, means some of the people, they want some very costly metals. Okay, means when we are mining, means when we are excavating these rocks, means we are going for that purpose to get the very utmost and very useful rocks from that, and this can alter the stress distribution in the earth crust. Okay, overall, that when they are excavating and when they are removing that very huge rocks, at that time there will be very much stress applying on the earth crust there, that will lead to the seismic events there. Okay, what is the example we can say in this condition, means in South Africa there will be so much gold mining operations occurred, means at that time when this gold mining excavation, it have already triggered the earthquakes there. Okay, next one is geothermal energy production, means what is the main cause of this geothermal energy production is, it can be due to the extraction and induction of the fluids into the geothermal fields, and when they are just inserting these fluids into the geothermal one, it can change the pressure into the subsurface, means that pressure will go on into the at the surface. What will happen means that tectonic plates, they are going to be displaced due to this stress distribution, that can trigger the earthquakes in that area. What are the example of this one is in Geyser's geothermal field in USA, means in California, we can say there. And next one is oil and gas extraction. Then we are going to remove the oil, gas, that also can lead to the subsidence and changes in the subsurface pressure. Why? Because when we are going to extract the oil and gas, means that will lead to the change in the subsurface pressure, means the subsurface, there will be displacement in the earth crust, that also can trigger the seismic activity. Example of that one is Groningen gas field in Netherlands, and where this gas extraction is increased this seismology, means earthquake. And next one is hydraulic fracturing. Here what is meant by this hydraulic fracturing is when we are going to inject the high pressure fluids, very high pressure fluid, we are going to inject into the rock surface. Okay, when we inject that rock surface, means to break that type of huge rocks, means that can induce the seismic events. Why? Because in some of the areas, so many, they are giving these injection fluids, means by using these fluids, that rock can easily breakable. Okay, but what is the main disadvantage of that one, means it can indirectly inducing the seismic events there, that may be from the fracturing and also from the disposal of the wastewater here. That is one of the main cause due to this hydraulic fracture condition. That is also called as fracking here. And one of the example of this hydraulic fracturing is due to the excess seismic activity in Oklahoma, that is in USA. It is occurred due to the both hydraulic fracturing and also due to the wastewater injection. These are all the human activities which trigger the earthquake to occur. And the last one is that is wastewater injection. What is the main cause of this wastewater injection is it can be due to the means when we are going to dispose this wastewater from the various industrial purposes into the deep wells. These when we are just injecting or we are going to dispose this wastewater in the deep well means this can occur the subsurface pressure and also trigger the seismic events here. When there will be subsurface pressure, automatically that leads to the earthquakes here. Why? Because when there is a fault line is going to be displaced and tectonic plates they are going to be deformed at that time. That will lead to the earthquake occurring process. One of the example of this what wastewater injection is, it is in the central and eastern USA, that is in Oklahoma and Texas region. Due to this wastewater injection only, the earthquake is occurred at that time. Next one is preventive and mitigation measures of these earthquakes. And what are the main prevention and mitigation process of these earthquakes means we are having three categories here. Means pre-earthquake means before the occurring of earthquake and during the earthquake, second one, and third one is the post-earthquake means after the completion of the earthquake, what are the prevention and mitigation process we are going to follow here. First one is pre-earthquake preparedness. In this pre-earthquake preparedness means before occurring of this earthquake, what are the measurements, what are the precautions we are going to take to not occur these earthquakes here. Means we have to resist this type of natural hazards. Means due to this one, we are going to do some building codes. Means we are going to just design some building codes to strengthen our high-rise buildings like that. Okay. First one is building codes and regulation. Here we are going to implement. Mainly we are going to implement and also we are going to enforce the very strict building codes to the to withstand these seismic activities here. Why? Because everyone means every human being, they don't want to lose their lives and also they don't want to lose their properties also. So because of this one, our government already in means not in nowadays but previously and now also we are following some building codes. According to that building codes only we are constructing each and every structure. Okay. So when we are going to follow these building codes means we can easily withstand the seismic activities here. And also there will be, we can easily retrofit these older buildings to meet the current earthquake resistant one. Why? Because in the older days there is no some technologies and also special concretes is not there at that time. And at that time only stone is there and some of the materials that are present in the ancient days are stones, lime, like that we are having. By using these materials only, these ancient days structures can be constructed at that time. But nowadays if any earthquake occurred at that time only means of course there will be easily destructed due to this earthquake. So we are going to retrofit means we are going to repair these older buildings to meet the current earthquake resistant standards. Okay. Next one is land use planning. Means when we are going to construct any type of building, it may be residential or it may be commercial, educational building or any some mercantile building also, we are going to avoid construction buildings and also infrastructure on this known fault lines. Okay. Or any areas which are having the most amount of liquefaction and also landslides. Why? Because when we are going to construct on that liquefaction area only, our structure is going to be easily sink when any type of natural hazard is occurred, and it can be easily collapsed. So we are going to implement the zoning regulations. Okay, we are going to implement zoning regulations to minimize these type of risk in the high hazard areas. Means when the very much earthquake regions are there, means of course we are going to implement some zoning regulations to minimize this type of risk. And next one is public education and also drills. Here we are going to educate the people about earthquake risk and also safety measures. Why? Because if people know about this earthquakes means, and also we are going to give some workshops and also some safety measures to them, means they can save themselves when any type of natural hazard can occur. So by doing this, we can easily educate the people by conducting these earthquake drills in the schools, workplaces, and also community. This will lead to the people to have some confidence in them while these natural hazards can occur. Okay. Next one is emergency kits and plans. Here we are going to encourage the so many households and also businesses to prepare the emergency kits. Means some of the emergency kits means how we can save themselves from by using that products like that. And also we can easily develop and practice this emergency response plans, including the communication strategies. Means by using the mobiles or by using the emails also. By using this communication system, we can easily develop and also practice this response plans. Means just by calling our disaster people also, we can easily save ourselves. Okay, like that. And next one is early warning system. Means we are going to give the people early warning system so that they can provide the seconds to minutes of advance notice. Okay, immediately they cannot vacate that area, but also it will take some minutes also to vacate that area. So we are going to give the early warning systems to the public areas like shopping malls or like some commercial buildings like that. Means we are going to stop the trains, and also we are going to stop the gas lines like that. And when any earthquake occur, means it will just collapse overall system there. Okay, means it may be water system or it will be communication system, everything it will damage. In some areas it will be very much in some of the areas two can occur, means like earthquake and also tsunami can occur. In some areas volcanoes and tsunamis can occur, and in some areas volcanoes and earthquake can occur. So when we are going to give the early warning system, means that maybe before the minutes or seconds also, they can just imagine some ideas. Means they can just think about some ideas to save ourselves. Okay, to save ourselves or to save their loved ones, like that. Next one is second one, that is during earthquake action. Up to now I told about the pre-earthquake action, means before happening of this earthquake what we are going to do. Now we are going to study about the during earthquake action. Means when this earthquake occurred, means what we are going to do. Firstly we are going to save ourselves. Means how we are going to save ourselves, what are the steps we are going to follow. Means first one, that is drop, cover and hold on. First step is we have to advise the people to drop their hands and knees. And also they have to cover their head and also necks. They have to go to the sturdy piece of the furniture until the earth shaking is going to be stopped. Why? Because when this earth shaking starts, means automatically we can't bear that pressure. So we can easily becomes the victim at that time. So when we are going to follow these steps, we can somewhat, in some cases we can save ourselves also. Just we are going to just hold on to some furniture one, and we are going to keep our heads, knees and necks, everything down to that one. Then some percent we can save at that time. And next one is stay indoors or find open space. Mainly, if indoors, we are going to stay there and move away from the windows and doors or also the exterior walls. Why? Because if you stay in the windows and also the exterior walls, means when these earthquakes occur, means that earthquake will be shaking, will be very drastic in some areas. When we are staying nearer to the windows or to the exterior walls, means we can easily become the victim. Why? Because it will just pull out the windows also at that time or pull out the exterior walls at that time. And if we are outside, if now I said about indoors when we are inside the house, and now I'm going to tell you about when we are outside. When we are outside, we have to move to some open area that will be very much away from the buildings and also trees and also power lines. Why? Because these buildings, power lines, trees, it will be very dangerous for us. Means these power lines can get ourselves this current shocks, and the trees when they fall on us, means of course we can die easily, and these buildings also we can die easily at that time. So just when we are outside, we have to go to the open area where these buildings, power lines, trees are not there. Okay. Next one is we have to use the safe zones. Firstly, we are going to identify and use these safe zones here. Means within that buildings only. Such as we have to stay under the study tables or against the interior walls. Why? Because when we are going to just hide under these study tables or interior walls, we can easily save ourselves. In some of the percent, we can save ourselves. If you are going to stay in the exterior walls or nearer to the windows, means it will be very difficult to means without shaking our body, it is very difficult. When we are going to hold on to the study tables or any furniture, means it will be somewhat easy to save ourselves. Okay. And next one is post earthquake recovery. Means after the earthquake occurring places, what precautions we are going to take or what mitigation we are going to take. Means first one, that is search and rescue. Here, after earthquake occurred, means earthquake is over, it's completed, what we are going to do? Firstly, we have to save the people, or we have to save the some, means it may be animals or it may be humans or anything. We have to save the living people. Okay. And here, firstly, what we are going to do, means that is search and rescue operation have to be conducted. We have to deploy the trained search and also rescue tools to find and also assist the trapped individuals. Means when this earthquake occurred, below the in the indoors of the buildings, some people will be there, outdoors some people will be there, and they are struck with some building materials, or they are struck with the current poles, or some may be struck with the some other thing. So we are going to send some trained people to search the victims there, and they are going to just take that people to the best medical care. Okay. And also we can use the community resources and also volunteers for the coordinating manner. In some areas there will be no earthquakes, no, that people they only coordinate themselves and they have to volunteer themselves for this earthquake occurred area, so that only policemen or trained search can be, other than this trained search and police people, when normal people, ordinary people, they just volunteer themselves, means it will be a very big help to the government there. Means they can supply some food to the victims, or they can get some very good medical facility there. That will be very nice for the ordinary people as well as the victims there. Next one is medical aid and also shelters. Here we are going to provide the immediate medical care for the victims there. Why? Because some of the people, by just take the medical care also, they can save, means they save themselves because of this medical care. So immediate medical care should be given to the victims there. And next one is temporary shells can be built for the people who lost their homes. Okay. Why? Because in the earthquake areas, it will be collapsed everything when that natural hazard is occurred. So temporary shelters can be built for that people also. Next one is we have to next one damage assessment and repairs. Here we are going to assessment the damage here, and also we are going to do the repairs here. So we are going to conduct the assessment of the buildings and assessment of the infrastructure to determine the safety and also for the necessary repairs. Some of the buildings only some part it collapsed, and some of the architectural purpose it loses means some of the buildings it loses its aesthetic view, like that one means easily we can repair that type of small infrastructure things, and also we can prioritize this repair and also reconstruction of the infrastructure such as hospitals, utilities, and also transportation networks here. Why? Because these hospitals, transportation networks have to be repaired immediately. Means those are the very big source also for the humans there. Next one is community support and counseling. Why? Because so many people after the earthquake completed, so many people they are having some trauma. Why? Because so many people they lost their loved ones and they lost their properties, means of course it will be a trauma for that people. So we are going to support that type of people and we are going to counseling them, means don't get sad like that. We are going to just counsel that type of people also, and also foster community support networks. We have to aid in the recovery and also the rebuilding efforts, means immediately we have to government have to take the efforts to rebuild that area or recover that area with the previous one, like that. Next one is we have to review and improve the preparedness plans, means we have to evaluate the effectiveness of response efforts, and also we have to identify the areas for the improvement there. And some areas will be somewhat destructed, somewhat okay, that can be repaired easily, but in some areas overall that buildings, houses, and some shopping malls those are very much damaged, that can take up to some months or some years also. Okay, we have to prepare ourselves, means some people they have some trauma because of their means because by seeing the earthquake occurring things, means they can lose their loved ones or properties also, they are having some trauma. So we are going to improve the preparedness plans, means where some lessons have to be given to the people or counseling can be done to the people because of this earthquake here. Okay, these are all the preparedness and mitigation of the earthquake, means preventive measures. These are all the preventive measures here. Okay, these are the references books you can also refer. Thank you everyone.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.